Okay, mic check, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do a clap for audio test, and this is also a test. It's not, well, basically what I'm gonna do now for the video. So this is going to be raw and uncut video for this new ledge that I have been working on at Roosevelt Island, and I think it's a great example of just the level of work and sort of dedication that goes into a ledge, and also patience, right? Now, I could come out here, I could grind this ledge with a power tool, make a lot of noise, get it done quickly, smoothly, efficiently. But to me, in terms of like, I think when I do this, to me, it's almost like a martial art. It's like it's something that requires a little bit of patience and technique. So I spent probably a few hours the first time using a regular rub brick, sanding it all down. And I don't exactly remember how many months ago, but the point is I spent a long time sanding it, right? And to me, there's a few steps in this process of creating a ledge. The first is to sand it down. Mic check, mic check, mic check. So we're gonna just do a clap test so that we can sync the audio. Okay, so as I was saying, there's a few processes, right? First, you rub brick it, you dust it, you might rub brick it some more until you get the feel, then you start waxing it, and then you skate it. And the thing I've been talking a lot about is the symbiotic relationship between the obstacle, typically a rough concrete, and the plastic on the skate. So what I just did there that I didn't record, and what I'm doing with the microphone in the distance, if you can see the microphone in the distance, is that I'm recording the audio for grinding because I'm hoping that I can get the drone in the air to film at a better angle, and the drone does not pick up audio. But the component that I think often is missing when you're producing a ledge like this, the old-fashioned way, right, without the high power tools and the super slick substances and lacquer, what I find happens is that people rush the process. And what you want to do is you want to grind it or sand it, wax it, and then you want to get the skate and the plastic onto the ledge, right? And then you want to leave it for weeks if necessary, months if necessary, and let nature, the rain and the elements, whether it's snow, sit on the wax. And basically what I've found is that it cakes in a way. Obviously over time it's going to wear out, but essentially what happens is that the ledge starts becoming one with the wax in a way, or the wax becomes one with the ledge. And now as I've returned months later, I just put a fresh coat of wax, and I should note that I put the soft Jesus candle wax, right? The ones that come in the glass containers that you have to break. And when you break that glass and use that soft wax fills in almost all of the inconsistencies very rapidly. It's very messy, however, I have wax all over everything I'm wearing. And I would definitely recommend you wear gloves. And then the second step of that process, only because I think I ran out of the soft wax, but I found that this actually helped, is that I used the medium density wax, and I caked it with the medium density wax, which then gave it, so now imagine you have now, so months have passed and you already have a thin layer of wax, but it just wasn't slick enough and there's too many spaces in between. Mother Nature, rain, snow, whatever, sun, heat, all of the baking, the cooling, Mother Nature essentially gave the ledge its own finish and said, you know what, with the wax that you've added, this is what it looks like now. When I added the soft wax, it filled in all of the inconsistencies, but I felt like it was still thick and messy. And then when I took it the step further with the medium density wax, that actually created a almost marble-like surface, right? So imagine you have a very soft, oil-based, almost liquid-like wax underneath, and then a harder medium density wax on top, and obviously there's the rough concrete below. In a way, it's almost like taking toast, right? Toast, which is soft, but imagine a very hard, rough, burnt toast, and then you put butter on top, and the butter melts into it, filling in all the nooks and crannies, right? Think of like not an Eggo waffle, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The whatever it's called. It's the circular muffin, whatever the muffins are called. But the key takeaway right now that I think often is neglected when, I don't know about skateboarding and those other sports. I can really only speak on aggressive inline roller skating, and I'm sure this also applies to just aggressive roller skating, inline or out of line, roller skating, quads or inline, is that you want that symbiotic relationship, right? So there's a layer of wax on here, and what I did is I do this. I drag the H block. I think, to be honest with you, iRoll New York, Craig Benaboo is the first person that really kind of demonstrated this technique, and I was like, oh, okay. When we were making his ledge out in not Canarsie, but in I forget, I want to say it's Calvert Vaux Park, CalvertVaux Park, out there in South Brooklyn, very close to Coney Island. It might be Sheepshead Bay area, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is that you can rub the groove and it will help, but you won't really notice what I'm telling you until you put the sole onto the ledge, right? So I put the sole onto the ledge, and as I'm sliding it, I notice just how sticky it is, and I'm putting all my weight on it. So if I'm putting all my weight on the boot and sliding it back and forth, and it's sticky, what does that tell you? It tells you that there's a chunk of wax. You know, think of the butter on the English muffin that hasn't sort of found its home into the nooks and crannies of that almost, I don't want to use the term granular, but that sort of permeable concrete, right? You want the wax to get embedded into the concrete. So what I found is like, okay, you start once and you'll notice it's very sticky and very slow, and I'm putting all my weight on it. And I'm referring to this symbiotic relationship because what happens is as you put more pressure and as you do this, you start noticing, I don't know if you can see it from here, but you start noticing the color of the skate starts coming off onto the ledge. Green, like that green strip right there is directly from the skate. And two, you start noticing that it basically starts becoming more consistent. All right, so so imagine if I just put my boots on and went straight for a trick, 99% chance of me getting stuck. However, if I don't skate it right away and instead I am patient with the process or processes, and I actually take my time to do this back and forth. I can't imagine skateboarders need to do this or even do this because a metal truck is going to grind right through this. Same thing with scooters. They're going to grind right through this. They're also probably going to damage this, right? So, I really don't think you guys can see just how much, what exactly is happening here, but this is the process. You know, you can definitely do the groove, and I think both are necessary. I think sometimes the groove picks up more wax than need be, and again, all we're trying to do is create a sort of harmonic, if you will, symbiotic relationship between the plastic and the wax on the skate and on the frames with the wax and the concrete that's already there, so that there is a consistency that is almost akin to waxing a marble ledge. And to me, that's when you have made the concrete, the rough concrete, magnifique. Now, after today, even if I don't get the chance to skate it, let's say I leave and don't ever skate it, and come back a week, a month later, as long as it has rained and as long as there has been sunshine and then it's been hot and cold, that melting of the wax and that drying of the wax, freezing of the wax, the rain on the wax, all of that only helps to further our cause of making the wax and the ledge one, as in one symbiotic entity. The problem does become, however, if we don't skate it often and if we don't return often and if we don't wax it often, eventually Mother Nature will pull all of these foreign substances off of the concrete, and we will then have to start this process all over again, except for the sanding. Once we wax it to this extent, it will generally always be smooth, but it will still need to be coated with a fresh set of wax. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue this process because I feel this is very important that often is neglected. This also helps loosen up a lot of this process to me also helps loosen up a lot of the chunky excess wax that does not need to be on the ledge, the essentially the chunky wax that will get you stuck. And when you're flying to something of this nature, getting stuck is not really an option. It's getting stuck on anything when you're skating, grinding, to me is akin to I'm trying to compare it to a sport. It's like akin to, okay, you're playing football. You are the quarterback, but you don't have an open man. You decide to run, not realizing that there's someone charging full speed at you, and you're literally running full speed into them. So to me, it's essentially, what's that Newton law? An object in motion remains in motion unless acted upon by an equal or opposite force. So to me, it's one of these types of things where when you get stuck, you're going fast, and all of a sudden, boom! It's basically like running into a brick wall, essentially. I feel like that's the only way I can compare it. Only difference is you're not actually hitting a brick wall, but you do eventually go flying. And again, it's about safety and having fun. And that's why I highly recommend you do this process and break it in with the skate off before you put the skate on and actually jump on it while this whole process is taking place. This groove portion definitely helps, like I said, but I think it takes a lot of the wax off. And I will say what's cool about this process, that it does take the wax off, is now, you can't see it from here, but essentially now what I have is, instead of a thick surface, I have what I call almost a, like it's just almost I gotta be honest, to me it's an immaculate finish. It's an immaculate finish that you cannot top. And now I can even go on top once more. And what you'll see with the medium density wax is that most parts of the ledge won't even accept additional wax. Why? Because we've colored in all the nooks and crannies. So anything I add to the top is just excess. And it's only going to come off, you know? You can see in this portion a lot's coming off, which tells me that this area probably was not sanded enough, or maybe this area was not very leveled, and that you can toss that up to the individuals that built and designed the bridge and poured the concrete and laid the concrete, or maybe just curing over time. But essentially I could come back and do some more sanding, but why do more sanding when we can just coat it with wax and let the wax level it out? You know, if you look closely, right? So like this is a space, you know, all of these little spaces and inconsistencies, that not so much, right? But I'll still fill it in just in case. And the edge, of course. The edges are, to me, one of the hardest places to properly wax and to properly break in without like ripping your knuckles and nails to shreds. I'm going to put this back down. Hopefully I have a decent angle here. If not, I will move it further away. And actually, so with the top sides, with the edges of the ledge, this is the way to do it. Same difference, but literally you have to do the top side. And as I'm doing these things, you know, a big part of it is learning as I'm going. And I also realize everyone's so comfortable with skate parks, and you know, I've seen like this dude Jay Lynn. He's become, if not the master of using power tools and doing this type of work quickly and streamlined. And I go, that's awesome, that's amazing. And I think what I am doing might be akin to, let's say, like a blacksmith or a very old craft that is no longer practiced or is no longer understood, because it was never actually a profession. It was never actually taught. It was something that was self-taught or self-acquired through trial and error. You know, I have no idea how Craig knew how to create ledges and whatnot, and whoever else I ever skated with that helped me, that created ledges with me. But I think back about it, I never really understood the process. I always thought you just sand it and wax it, but there's so many small steps in the process that I've learned by making mistakes. You know, I've been to ledges where we've sanded it and then started waxing without dusting, and then we realized that the wax is basically sitting on a layer of sand, of concrete dust, and that's no fun. And that doesn't last long. That wears off and deteriorates quickly. But yeah. So yeah, I need to break in the edge a bit more. And of course you can, you know, so like if this is the top and I'm breaking in the backslides, torque slides on the top, right? You can do the very same thing on the edge this way. And I'm gonna swap skates. I'm beating the shit out of this. This is my, what foot is this? This is my right foot. So this would be my back torque foot, which is not bad. I do torques this way. All right, so this would be my back torque foot. Right, if that makes any sense. I think this is a very good shot to show you just how well these frames are designed when the wheels wear down. So these wheels, let's say they're 58, let's say they're 57 right now, approaching 56 millimeter. You can just imagine what they would look like when they're 60, right? And this is boot down. And again, I'm going to keep mentioning this. If you're a fan of the Remedy skate and how they perform in terms of slides and comfortability, and I guess the fit to an extent, I think these are a little bit more comfortable. I did have to stuff the toes of these and heat mold them a bit. When I say heat mold them, I had to heat stretch them. Tennis balls and some socks in the oven, 350 degrees, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something, just enough so that the top toe cap area was bulged out a bit more. Grind this portion and then grind the side portion. So yeah, I think I've worn these down a bit, and I want to give the other portion of the skate. And then this is also a very good thing, right? So now the boot itself has its own layer of wax and wear and tear, and the frames have its sort of wax in here where they're very familiar. I'll put it that way. The two inanimate objects are very familiar with each other, and they almost cannot wait to get reacquainted in a more adult-like fashion. Grind. All right, and this is my backslide Royale groove. I'm trying to get the edge of the ledge. But I'm also doing the soles as well. I don't want to cheat myself, right? I want to make sure both skates have equal consistency on both groove, torque, sole, top sole plates. I don't do negatives literally to save my life. I think once upon a time I did negative mistrials in Remedy skates. You're talking within the first year or 2 years of my skating. So somewhere between 02 and maybe 04, I used to do them rough, barely. And I think they were really backslides with a floating negative. And then later on in life, I think somewhere around like the 08, 09 era, the sort of recession, another global pandemic, if you will, at least in New York, I got laid off. I remember vividly skating with Alex Nunez and he had some really good negative tricks. And I believe he was doing negative acid in a way that I would, I think this is a key takeaway too, is the importance of skating with people who are better than you, and the importance of skating different spots often, because Alex would do negative tricks and he would do a negative acid in a way that appealed to me, and I would go, oh, I see how you do that. I could do that now. In a way where when I watched videos, it never clicked in my brain. That same concept, I have to be completely honest, applied to how I learned top horns with my natural foot, because I learned top horn switch because for whatever reason I learned it switch first, and I even learned alley-oop top horn switch first before I learned alley-oop top horn natural. And a lot of it was just because I was just going with the flow of what felt normal to me. But then I started skating with a gentleman at the time by the name of Daniel Figueroa, and his top horns, I would watch him. And it's also about the angle, right? So it's all perspective. In a video clip, you might see someone do a top horn from a side angle. Maybe you see it from a top angle, but when you're standing next to the person and you see how they approach, you see the speed they use, you see how they jump, in real time, you can break down the trick into smaller increments and go, holy shit. Now, I watched him do this at Houston Rail. I watched him do this trick at Columbia University. I watched him do this trick maybe even at Roosevelt Island. I watched him do it on different obstacles, different ledges. I think 33rd Street and Park Avenue, Norman Thomas High School is another place that I vividly remember watching him doing it. And I think around that time is when I was just convinced that I knew how to do it simply by watching him. And that's a testament to, like I said, being with people, skating with people who are better than you, and two, skating different locations, because I found that a lot of my progression over the 20 years of skating occurred only when I skated different spots. So let's say today I learned to jump on back rail on this high ledge. Tomorrow, when I go back to that little rail that I used to skate, I'm gonna suddenly realize, oh, back rail is so easy that now I'm overly confident with not just doing back rail, but now I feel like I can do backslide switch to true fish, or backslide to, or even something like true top soyal, which is essentially a backslide and basically a true fish combined in one trick, right? At the same time, right? So I say that because I just think that a lot of people don't skate often, and they don't skate often. They don't skate. I think, okay, you skate park, great. I don't discredit skate park at all. Skate parks are very important and they're huge. Why? Because it teaches you transitions, and it teaches you to deal with uncomfortable, it just teaches you to deal with challenging environments. Yeah, skate parks, if I'm being completely honest, I often found that skate parks helped me get over I found that skating street and basically variety is the key to life. If I had to sum it all up, variety is the key to life. Skate often, skate fast, skate often, skate fast, skate fast, what's the term? Fail forward, meaning don't be afraid to fail. Fail fast, skate fast. Oh my God, this is a tongue twister. I gotta put this into some lyrics. This is gonna be some dope rap music later. Damn, this is some bars. Skate fast, skate forward, fail fast, fall hard. You basically want as much variety as you can, because that helps you progress, if that is your goal. If your goal is to stay stagnant with the same tricks and the same level of comfortability, and you don't want to get out of your comfort zone and learn new things, then cool. But traveling is huge. Different parks, different environments, different terrains. You start seeing things differently. You start seeing how different people skate. You start adapting, and you start absorbing what you see and using it for your own benefit and advantage. But I'm gonna wrap up the chit chat, get back to the slidey slide, and then we're gonna change the entire wardrobe, because this is a very rough ledge where your palms can get ripped. Again, rough concrete rips palms and rips clothing. I'm gonna put some Carhartts on and some pads, some crash pads, and I'm set up the drone if it works, hopefully, and then do the damn thing. Excuse me. I don't know what you guys think. Then that's 25 minutes already. You can see I definitely broke this in some more. And you can see clearly that's the green color of the frame. All right, so now you can, I've got more of a polished thing going on here, but there is no rest for the wicked. So we're going to make sure this is all the way live as I finish some of this prep work on the sides. Testing. All I wanna do is test things. I could test things and then stress things. Or I could do a little less things. I hesitated there because I think I'm looking at it. At first I thought it was a rat, and then I'm like, wait, is it a mouse? I can't really tell what it is, but something's moving in the distance. All right. I'm gonna take a break on the camera, get suited, and we will do a clap sound sync check. Okay, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check. All right, so I've been out here quite a while, as you can imagine. I'm tired. I think it's almost 2 a.m. I've also been dealing with the local Roosevelt Island, I guess, police department or security department, because I was measuring the distance on the drop to the other portion. Long story short, we have gotten acquainted, and there really is no escaping humanity. But essentially what I'm getting at is that I am exhausted, I think mentally, physically. You know, when you're sitting out in the cold, whether you're actually being active or not, a lot of things become cold. right? The temperature I think is approximately 40 something degrees, but still cold enough where the water temperature is probably even colder, you know, probably 20 degrees lower. So I've also forgotten to update the DJI Mavic drone app software, so that is not going to be a possibility for taking flight. So everything's going to have to happen off of the phone. The H1 Essential recording, you know, handheld recording device, I don't know what's going on with it, but my guess is that it's malfunctioned because it's been sitting in the cold for a very long time, so that's warming up. I am trying to warm up. The plastic on the skate is still very rigid, and I feel like it needs to be loosened up, so me bending and stretching is actually helping. I'm also remembering just how difficult it was for me the first time to jump that far, and how much effort it took with these very restrictive Carhartt pants. They restrict a lot of the movement, and to add insult to injury, I'm wearing the Fox mountain bike crash pads underneath, and it all just makes it even worse. So I'm hitting record because I feel like at any moment as I'm warming up and rolling around, it might be go time, so I don't want to risk being ready and not having the camera ready. So I'm saying that to say that I might be going at any moment, or I might not, but at least the camera's rolling. And it's a rough ledge, so I do need to make sure I have gloves on. I think it's safest bet. This is it. Yes, I do remember now that I'm looking at the ledge. What I remember mostly about skating this is that it is, and I measured it. Let me give you the measurement. So, what I realize is because of the height of the ledge and the distance I have to gap to the ledge, and because I'm in this restrictive clothing and get up, it is not something I can roll up to lackadaisically, casually, and expect to hit it without getting injured, without the chance of some sort of injury, even if it's a superficial scratch or laceration. But essentially, I don't know if you can see this, but this was the tramway measurements that I got today. So I realized that the left side is actually 185 inches, which is about 15'5", whereas the other side I measured about 188, which is totally 15'8". But this ledge, if you're looking at it right now, total ledge is about 254 inches, right, from about here to way over there. The drop off the end is approximately 64.5 inches. But what I'm realizing is that even though it looks as if I only have to gap 50 inches, this is at an angle, right? These stairs are at an angle. So the point where I actually have to jump is closer to 60 inches. So I actually have to jump approximately 50 feet. And the height, let's say I'm jumping approximately 33 inches and 50 inches. And what I realize about that, why I point that out and why that's so important, is because there's really very little room for error, which means that I essentially have to come from a point far away and book it. And as I'm booking it, there's really no, like, basically, if I'm going really fast and I get here and I feel like my pants or the crash pads are bunching up and it's affecting my knees, like, I have to abort mission and just like bomb the stairs, or basically it becomes a clusterfuck of all the things that could go wrong. So essentially, mind over matter. I have to be so confident when I book it that I'm going to jump regardless of what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where now I'm remembering why I have to have the camera on, because it's not a ledge I can go slow to, because it's fucking 5 feet and almost 3 feet in height. So I have to jump a diagonal distance of what does that come out to? 5 and 3, whatever the math on that is. But And 5 feet is not difficult at all, but to do it at approximately 3 feet in height makes it difficult. And it's not just that it's difficult that way, but it's an angle, right? So if I were just jumping straight at this ledge, meaning if this stair came this way, right? If this was the stair and the stair stopped there, then I would have no problem. But because it's at an angle, I'm not actually jumping here. I'm actually jumping from about this point, which I measured to be about 60, because if I jump from here, it means 1 foot is on the stair, and it means 1 foot is getting ready to fall off the stair at the speed I'm going. So let me just give you guys an approach of what this actually looks like. I'm gonna give you the intro to the rail. Intro to the ledge, intro to the spot. Yo, check the intro to the spot, right? So it's something like this. Something like that. I need a GoPro. Oh, I should just have the fucking drone set up next time. I totally forgot I didn't update that software. Some told me that it might not work, and I said just take it in case. But like that right there was a good warm-up test. But I've determined that I gotta jump from about here, right, as opposed to there. There would be closer to 4 feet, whereas here is closer to 5 feet. And the reason I'm jumping from here is because if I jumped here, my feet are gonna clip on the way up, right? If I jump here and start turning, my feet are gonna clip the ledge. So I have to give myself enough space. All right. I really want to get the speed. That's why I wanted the drone. I wanted to get the approach. I was thinking of a shot somewhere in the sky in this vicinity, looking down on the ledge that would both capture my approach and whatever landing and stumbling I do in that area. But now all you're gonna get to see is the and hopefully that, because I've yet to grind it and come off. But yeah, that's what we got. A little breakdown. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I'm feeling decently enough with the sugar and the blood and the yada yada yada. The adrenaline. Taking my ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong, keep their heads ringing. I'm taking my sign language bearing, things that help me keep my bearings. Literally, these are bearings that I'm taking off. I find that I was doing something on the BMX or something recently, and it clipped and yanked right off, and I went, holy shit. Get lose the thing. bunch it up like this. Extra going on. Not that I believe in it, but I believe in safety, and I feel like I'm looking at this thing, it's cold. This means this wax needs to be broken in. Alright, fuck it. Even just stalling the trick, it's like the G's are like limiting that fucking range of movement. keep these bitches open. I feel like if you saw what happened, then that you see just how like easy it is to clip, trying to jump to it. I feel like with shorts it'd be so much easier. Actually, without the pads, honestly, do I need the pads for this leg? Do I want to risk taking them off? I don't want to risk taking them off. Fuck. I don't know what that was. That was supposed to be a back rail. gonna go for the back torque. The back Royale is like, I feel like if I get the back torque comfortably, I'll get over the mind, like the mind fuck of these things, like tugging on my legs. Because the back torque, so the back torque is a reach where I'm like not really jumping it. I can do the back Royale. It's just, I can do the back Royale. This shit really sucks. 25 minutes. I'm gonna take just a quick. Okay, so the flow, the energy, the adrenaline. It's not really adrenaline. It's something different because it was a bit of fear, and I realized the fear I have here is tied into the fact that my legs are not moving freely the way I need them to. So I'm overcompensating with the speed, right? Because I can definitely jump this on shoes, like no problem, from here to there on shoes. Like I can jump from here to there on shoes without going as fast as I'm going. But because my legs are restricted with the pads, I'm having trouble. I could take the pads off, I could take the pants off and probably do it no problem. But I want to be safe. I want to be safe instead of sorry. So then there's the fear. The fear of not jumping properly, not jumping high enough. But I'm jumping comfortably on a pretend back torque. But for some reason, so I'm jumping back torque, this foot's hitting, but this foot seems to be the foot that's like not getting all the way up there. And again, we're coming at an angle. Like I said, if the stairs were this way, I would have more confidence. But because they aren't, it's like illusion in my head. I have to jump a lot earlier than I normally would. So I'm gonna try to shoot it from this other angle. And now that I'm getting over the fear, because the back torque, I'm getting on it no problem, I feel like it's one of these things. Again, it's also the boot. Like I'm giving you all of the things that matter to me. This is a longer boot than I'm used to. Not making excuses necessarily, but I know in my carbons or even on like if I were wearing the 8.9 Shell Razor SLs, this would not be as difficult for me as it is with this longer boot and longer like frame and wheelbase, right? So all of those things are a factor. So apparently length is a factor for me. And I say that because I tried the rollerblade blank Sean Keen's in the 10.5, and those were a more compact boot, but those actually had a frame with a longer wheelbase than even these did, which to me was just asinine that they even created that. So I'm gonna go again, and I think we're gonna shoot it from this angle. Maybe this angle. Yeah, maybe this angle. And this shit looks like it's kind of... All right. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm feeling a little more loosey-goosey and just a little bit more confident. I'm not getting scratched up the way I was a couple months ago. A couple months ago, I feel like I tore my palm, my arms, my legs. Now it's like... like a Zamboni rolled over. All right. It's not getting high enough at all. I wonder if I can do just backslide. All right, I'm gonna actually try to go slow. All right, let's go slow. See what fits. I'm gonna use the gloves going slow. Holy shit. Slower helps control, and loosening up the boot helps a lot. The crotch still sucks. feeling happier with that torque, which lets me know that I can't jump that high on a back rail. Yeah. Do you see how slick this thing is right now? It's fucking... It's Lady Marmalade. Marmalade. All right, we're gonna go with the extremely loose buckle. Even though it doesn't feel like the way to go, it seems like the only way to go, because when it's too tight and comfortable, I get stuck. When it's loose, I slide. And when it's too loose, I have little control rolling and approaching and jumping, but I have all the control grinding when it's extremely loose. But I have very little control rolling, turning, jumping, everything else. So I just am gonna have to go loose on the right boot. You lost it. All right. Okay, I am running out of, not time, I guess I kind of have all the time that I could really need, right? Time is really of no matter, but memory is, and the camera is quickly running out of memory because it's just rolling raw and uncut. And I don't want to be necessarily defeated, so to speak. And I think the happy medium has to be that the buckles must work. Why? Because when they are loose, yes, I'm getting some control grinding, but I'm having difficulty approaching and jumping, which basically is pointless because I'm going to have difficulty landing. And I feel as if the buckles are tight, and basically, if I have ground control, if I have takeoff control, if I don't have heel lift, it means that really what needs to happen is when I'm on the grind, I need to be more in control of my body as opposed to worrying about the skate. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be it. It's nice and slow and steady. It's a little faster as I approach. Jump at the right pace and angle. Focus on the torque. Hands out for balance. And I'm hoping that I can get it done in one swift motion. Coke City. Those waves were amazing, man. From PD. do a stop record. Say we're attempting a quick sit down backslide, backslide. Only because it's one of those, like the sit down backside torque and the sit down. So the sit down backslide torque and the sit down backslide, I don't really jump for those. I kind of just throw my feet under my body. So I'm just curious to see if I can get up there. Or get them under me, I should say. I think I could. Jeez. So much could go wrong. I guess I was just going too fast. Took the wind. The wrong angle. Too fast and I tripped. shit. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see that there's not buckle, but cuff. A black cuff wax, and then there's these white marks, which shows that I'm going off course. Need to stay on the edge. Scariest fucking cab driver. Dios mío. Alright, I just realized I could probably do a back farv. So let's try that. For some reason, I can't get both feet up evenly at the same time. It's like I'm jumping over one and then pulling the other behind me. I'm like jumping one foot at a time, or when I do both, for like the back rail, I have to like really huck. And as I'm picking my feet up, they either clip the ledge or I jump from a farther distance and come at an angle. So what does that tell you? It tells me maybe I should stick with the back rail. Pick both feet up. I'm going to stay focused on the back rail, and I'm not going to try it. I'm going to lace it. Medium to moderate speed. Not too close to the ledge. Squat before approaching. Lift, jump, rotate without rotating too much, and then relax. Here we go! I'll tell you what, I'm gonna come back with shorts, or maybe I'm gonna put shorts on and give this one last try with shorts and the pads. Let's just get one shot to see what it does. If the entire top were waxed, I would probably keep sliding and slide back in, but that goes to show you the angle that I'm coming at. I'm gonna try something I haven't tried, right? So this whole time I've been coming and curving and carving. I've been carving instead of maybe coming directly this way. I'm actually gonna try to make this. Torqued too much. That's why you gotta not torque shit. Too much torque. And you wind up not getting anywhere. I felt like that was my best attempt, honestly. Even though I torqued too much. I gotta get used to that approach. Coming down the step, you know. Okay, try this again. Just as I was about to jump, fucking buckled super loose and